Hello guys, I just wanted to pop on here and do another health update. I think it's good to talk about this regularly because then I sort of have a timeline of the order of events that have taken place with my health. And if I look back on this and, in the future I have a diagnosis, then it's going to be interesting to just see where my symptoms started and how they progressed. And I feel like when I film these videos and these updates about my health, it's almost reassuring to myself to be able to be like, okay, I'm showing up 2 weeks later, I'm still here, I'm still breathing, I'm still cognitively functioning, and I'm able to talk. Like, if I'm able to talk about my health and I'm able to sit down and have a conversation, then I'm okay. Like, that's almost what it feels like. And I feel more in control of my body and myself when I'm able to film these videos, and I can look back on the videos over the past month, see my face, see my body, and be like, okay, you're not looking sicker, you're still looking like yourself, you're still talking like yourself, and that's what matters. My experiences at the moment are mostly visionary still and less physical, and it's very strange. I don't remember a time in my life before recently where I could feel really ill but be pain-free. Like, when I think about the times in my life when I felt the most unwell physically, I'm thinking about stomach problems, headaches, pregnancy, all of these things. And this is the first time in my life where I felt unwell, but it's like I don't have a physical pain. It's very hard to describe. It's hard to explain that I'm scared for my life, I'm scared for my health, when essentially all my problems are pain-free. Or mostly pain-free. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still have Crohn's disease, I still have problems, but those are like day-to-day things that I'm just used to by this point. But it's just so strange to have something so serious going on in my body that does not cause pain or the inability to do a significant amount of things. So I'm very tired. I don't want to explain every symptom all over again. So if this is something that you're genuinely curious about, then you're probably going to need to go back and watch my past 3 videos in order. So all I'm going to say is all the visionary problems that I explained previously have continued and have worsened and transformed in different ways. So I'm going to try and make this short. I have continued to have flashing lights, flashing colours in my vision, and flickering. The flickering started in my periphery, but now in the centre of my vision I have flickering. If I look at hard surfaces like walls, it's the most noticeable, and it's the least noticeable when I'm outdoors because there's so many different textures already. But if I look at a very plain texture like a wall, I notice that there is flickering, and I don't know how to explain it. It's not like the entire surface is flashing, but the issue is that I have almost like lines and streaks across my vision, just like zigzags and lines, and those textures that I'm seeing in my eyes are going like this, basically, continuously all day long. It's transparent during the daytime. However, if I cover one eye at a time, I can see the streaks much more clearly, and it's just like streaks across my eyes, and there's like a white dot in the center, and it's like a fan oscillating in circles. It's almost like a tornado kind of thing, and it can look green and pink. and I also have floaters like cobwebs going back and forth across my vision. Now what really irritates me is I've seen multiple opticians now, and my eyes are normal. I've had an eye ultrasound, eye pictures, I've had eye everything, and there is nothing wrong with my eyes, which is why everyone's like optical migraine, pituitary tumor, multiple sclerosis. No one knows what is wrong with me, and I don't know how else to say it, but I really and truly don't feel like there is a worse feeling for a person to deal with aside from uncertainty and the unknown. The unknown when it comes to your physical body and your health, or the health of someone you care about, and just not knowing what direction things are going to go in or what is happening. It's a horrible feeling. It's like anxiety, but on a whole nother level. And it's like, with most anxiety related things, the therapists and all these meditation videos tell you, you know, just focus on what you know, try to think rationally, let the rational part of you tell you, you know, this isn't real, or this could go this way, or this is this. But if something's unknown, how do you rationalize it? How do I rationalize the health experiences I'm having in my physical body when there is no explanation? It's so unheard of what I'm experiencing that there's no reassurance. Everything I've read with my symptoms is most commonly associated with optic neuritis and post-vitreous detachment, both of which are conditions in the eyes which immediately are visible to an optician that looks in your eye, and no one can see anything in my eyes. And I had a CT scan on my brain, and that ruled out like a large mass or stroke. And the only other thing is the MRI. And I think I mentioned in my last video that I'm meant to get an MRI. However, my anxiety was so bad that when I got to my MRI, I left. I couldn't do it. I had an open MRI, so the machine wasn't like a small space. However, I was unaware that for an MRI you have to have a cage over your head. It's like a cage that you can see out of, and it's clipped onto the bed. So you're laying down and there's a cage that like traps you. And I didn't know, and as soon as I saw it, I had a panic attack and I walked out. And you're probably thinking, Layla, like, why do you keep coming on here? Why do you keep talking about your health problems? Like, you're literally avoiding the one thing that can give you answers. And I'm so angry at myself about it too. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, when you're scared of something, it's like, okay, well, just get on with it. Like, just face your fears, just do it. But it's like, I cannot physically bring myself to get into the MRI. I can't. And I don't know how to explain that. I have very bad heart problems. Like, when I get stressed, my heart goes absolutely bonkers, and it can make me pass out. I can get stress-induced seizures. I can faint from stress, and I have a big fear of getting in this machine and the stress being so much that I have an anxiety attack, which then causes heart problems, and it's just, yeah. So I do have a plan. I have a plan to get an MRI. I'm going to try to get an upright MRI. The last MRI was an open MRI, but I would have to lay down with the machine over my head. It was just much wider space. However, I wasn't able to have anyone with me because my only support was the dad of my baby, and he had to be with the baby. So I do have a plan for an MRI. I'm just waiting till I can have my support partner, and it's complicated, but I do have a plan. But unfortunately that could be months out. So my anxiety in the meantime is through the roof as I pray and pray every single day for things to not worsen and to be okay. I can't even explain what I'm going through. And it's just stupid. It's like, how can you feel unwell from visionary disturbances? And it's because the visionary disturbances and problems I have they're very hard to distract myself from, because whatever activity I do, it's right there in my vision. And when you're having something that's very anxiety provoking, which doesn't have any answers to it, it's constantly on your mind, and the anxiety that it causes makes me feel sick. So most of my feeling sick just purely comes from being so anxious about what's going on. And at the same time, I do feel quite unwell in terms of I'm just so tired all the time. I have just physical problems, like I do on and off have these numb tingling patches, which I talked about. However, they have reduced significantly, and so the main issue is my visionary problems. But I'm just thankful to have my periphery and no tunnel vision or anything like that as of yet, and I can still see, things are still clear, they're not blurry, there's just flickering and disturbances amongst what I'm looking at. I just wish I could find one other person that has gone through an experience like this, where their eyes have shown up to be normal and they've had a neurological explanation for this, because the only other thing I can find is an ocular migraine. And an ocular migraine, I've only read one case in the whole world where someone had these sort of symptoms go on for 6 months straight. But her symptoms weren't even like this. This woman's symptoms were like, things moved and she kept feeling like she was like falling, so she just started falling out of bed and like tripping over things because things were like moving. But it wasn't even like what I'm experiencing. So I don't know, I guess there's always a first. I feel very, very alone, because here in the United States I only have my boyfriend and my kids, but I can't talk to my kids about this. And it's not healthy for any relationship to be each other's only support and to just explain all your stresses and anxieties to your partner. It puts a huge strain on a relationship. Anyways, I do have plans. I have a long-term plan, but I have to get everything aligned to follow through, and it's not quick. And that's what's getting me, is that my plan is going to begin taking place in probably like 2 months or so, and every day I'm praying and praying for stability and recovery, because I fear what can happen in 2 months. Like, I know a lot can happen in a very short period of time, especially with the body. I mean, pregnancy itself is an example. I don't know, it's so hard. I try every day to practice gratitude and to be grateful. Like, I have my vision, I'm breathing, I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm alive. Like, I have 2 amazing children, I have a loving partner. Like, I try every day to be grateful, and I am. But at the same time, I'm like, why me? Like, why is this happening? How can I stop it? Like, why is this happening to me? And I feel overwhelmed, to say the least. Most days I feel so overwhelmed with my anxiety and the struggles within my body that there's times when I just don't want to be here. And I'm not suicidal, like I don't want to go kill myself or anything. But it's just, I wish there was just an off switch sometimes where I could just switch off and just not exist for just a little while, or just sleep for a little longer. The only times that I feel okay now are when my eyes are closed and I don't notice my issues as much, but I still see things with my eyes closed, which is the issue with most floaters and flashes and things. You see it with your eyes closed because it's not the outside world, is it? It's the world in you. So even if your eyes are closed, the problems don't stop. But they do seem to improve in the pitch black. But it's fucking depressing. Like, my only break shouldn't be with my eyes closed. Like, I want to enjoy my awake hours. I don't want my life to be like, I just want to be asleep. I do find that I feel a little bit better when I'm constantly moving and doing stuff, but the issue is that my only distraction is when I'm cleaning or moving. So then I obsessively do it, and then I bloody exhaust myself, and then I feel sick from exhaustion. It's just a shit show. Anyway, I wanted to come on, do an update, and just sit down and be real about what I'm going through, because I still pray and I still have faith and I still hope that there is a day that comes where I can come on here and I can tell you guys things have got better, and to believe in things getting better, because they did for me. That's what I hope. And I just want you to know, whatever you're going through right now, whatever ill health, whatever problems you're going through, you can show up for yourself. You're there for yourself. You're breathing. If you're watching this, then you're very much alive, and just try your hardest to focus on what you can feel, what you can do, what you do have, what you are able to feel and do, because that is the only thing that will pull you through when you have an anxiety or a physical ailment. Like, the only thing that will pull you through is to just put all your focus into the things that you're able to do and the people that you have in your life and that you have to fight for. Because every day I'm looking at my babies and I'm like, I've got to pull through this. I will pull through this. I will find a way for my babies. And when I find an upright MRI, which I feel will be less claustrophobic because I'll be upright in a chair, I'm going to sit in that machine and I'm going to picture my babies in my head for 20 minutes, and I'm going to be like, I'm going to do this for them, I'm going to pull through this for them, I'm going to be okay. And, you know, my brain's gone blank now. But if you watched to the end, thank you so much for following me on my journey, my crazy life journey, and I very much appreciate every single one of you, even though there's not many of you. But thank you for being in my little bubble for a few minutes. And this video didn't end up being as short as I anticipated. Nevertheless, I'm gonna post it, and then I think I'm gonna try and get a little bit more cleaning done. I'm gonna meditate, I'm gonna try and eat healthy and just focus on the things I can do to support my body and myself emotionally and physically, to pull through this day and make it through to another day. And I'll see you guys in a week or two.